Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. Going live in a few moments. Just organizing some things, and yeah, we are almost ready. How's everyone doing today? All right, hey everybody, hope everyone's doing well on this Monday. Yeah, it's about almost 12 o'clock in the afternoon here in South Africa. So I decided I'm going to do my first kind of day stream on Twitch. Let me know in the chat where you guys from and what you're up to and what you're doing. And I think we're just going to do some low poly modeling, obviously in Blender. So I have browsed around a bit for some ideas, and I think today what we are going to do is we are going to be modeling this little tower from Warcraft. I think this is like from Warcraft 1 or Warcraft 2 maybe. Just a little scout tower, one of those defense towers in Warcraft. So yeah, let's just see if we get maybe another viewer or two before I start. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. Is the audio sounding all right? I did quite a few changes on the microphone audio. Added like a whole bunch of filters and compressors and EQ and everything to try and get it as good as possible. Hopefully it's not overdone. But yeah, let me know in the chat if the audio is coming through okay, if the music is nice. Hey, Gaming Outcasts, thank you for the message. Cool, man. I'm glad that it's sounding great. That is good. So yeah, let me know if you are a Blender artist. What do you do? Do you also use Blender a lot? So this is the tower that we're going to model. This is the little thing. So I'm just going to jump right into Blender, and then you can see this. So I've got this reference here on the side that I just downloaded. I just Googled Warcraft tower or something, and this one came up. So pretty simple stuff, but I'm kind of practicing my modeling skills, trying to get better. So yeah, I'm just kind of trying to do these fairly small projects, and yeah, let's see how it goes. So first of all, I'm going to start with a cylinder. So I'm just going to delete all those. And first of all, I need to figure out how many sides we need. Of course, obviously this is very kind of low poly, and I'm going to go with a low poly style. So let's figure out how many sides we need. So I think I'm going to count these things at the top. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then obviously we need something in between. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 16 altogether. So I think 16 sides should be good enough. I think that should be fine. Yeah, let's see how it goes. So I'm just going to create a new cylinder. So just Shift A, and then you go to your cylinder, and then you at the bottom, add cylinder. You can just expand that, and then you can set your sides, the amount of sides. So we need 16 basically. So if I do 16, we get something that looks like that. Let me just click away from there. So this is cool. We've got a new viewer. Let's just do our little sound effect.
Master, we have a visitor.
Hope you are doing well. So this is the cylinder that we're going to start with. So it's just a 16-sided cylinder, because this is the little tower we are building, and I think 16 should be good enough. So yeah, this is going to be low poly, and I'm just going to move this up so we kind of get something that's a little bit of a better height. So yeah, hope everyone's doing well today. What are you guys up to on this Monday? So I think let's just pull this down first, and then we kind of start building from the bottom, and then we can kind of add things as we go along. So we've got our base, and as you can see, yeah, you see this actually looks like an 8-sided cylinder first before going up into the 16-sided cylinder. So maybe I should start with a I'll probably use like different cylinders for this. Maybe I'll use a 8-sided cylinder for the bottom section, and then I'll add a different cylinder for the middle section, which is a bit more smooth. And then for the top section, I'll probably add a 16-sided 16-sided cylinder. Yeah, so let's try that rather. So I'm gonna do a cylinder again. This side I'm just gonna do 8 sides, so we get something similar looking to that. And then let's move this up to our grid, just like so. And then I'm just gonna push this face down so we get that first kind of step, as you can see there. And then I'm gonna inset this a slight bit for that second step, so maybe just something like that. And then we just extrude that one up as well, maybe something like that. And then we can just inset, we don't even have to inset that, because then we're going to build our second cylinder on top of this. So what I want to do is I want to set my 3D cursor to this top face. So if I create a new object, it's going to create it on that surface. So with this face selected, I'm just going to press Shift S and then cursor to select it. And you'll see there that's going to put my cursor right there in the center. And now I can create my new cylinder. So I'm going to go out of edit mode. So if I create the new object inside of edit mode, it's going to make it part of this object. And that's also good, but you can also create it outside or in object mode, and then you can join it later. So you don't have to do it like this, or you can. All depends what you want to do. So currently this object's pivot point is sitting right there because we kind of scaled it down. So I'm just going to right click and say set origin to geometry, and then we set that pivot to the center, which doesn't really matter, but it's maybe just good to do that. So I am going to create a new cylinder, and this time it's going to be the one with more sides, maybe 32 sides, to get a bit of a smoother tower for that middle section. So I'm going to go mesh cylinder, and this time we're going to create 32 sides like so, and then I'm just going to move it up and then scale it down. And then what I want to do is I want to enable face snapping, so we can snap this face to this face. So I'm going to enable face snapping right here at the top. And then I'm just going to drag this down on the Z, and then holding in control, it's going to just snap to that face if you point to it. So yeah, face snapping is always nice. So let's scale this up so we kind of get the same look as this reference. So just scale it up. Maybe I want to scale it in the X and Y without scaling it in the Z. So to do that is you just press S for scale, and then you do Shift Z. So that's going to exclude Z from the scaling. So you'll see that it's only scaling it in X and Y, which is nice. And then we just want to bring it out maybe to around, yeah, like so. Cool. And then we want to, obviously it should go from big, should go inwards slightly, kind of tapering down, and then yeah, it kind of tapers outwards again. So let's just see what we can do here. So it's a bit of like a cone shape almost. So I'm just going to take this face and just kind of scale it down slightly, not too much, and then maybe move it up. We'll probably fix the proportions later on. We'll see how it looks. So maybe this is a little bit too cone-like, so I'm going to put a loop cut using Control R right around here, and maybe let's scale this one slightly, and then I want to scale this face slightly again, and maybe move it up a bit just to kind of get that look. Alrighty then. So next up is this top face, or this top area. So I think first of all we can probably get away with just using this cylinder to extrude this part. 32 might actually be fine because we can use every like second face to create these eight little stones here at the top, and then maybe yeah, so if we do like every second one, it should work out. So if it doesn't, we just redo it. So let's see what happens. So I'm gonna take so let's just look at this again. I don't know, the proportions is a little bit off right now, but we should be able to easily fix that later on. So I'm gonna take this top face, and then I'm gonna extrude it, and then I'm gonna, instead of moving it up, I'm just gonna scale it outwards. So just kind of scaling it out to maybe around here. So that's this edge right here at the bottom, and I'm just blocking it out first. So I'm not gonna add all these details in right away. So I think let's just extrude that up, so we kind of get that shape. And then we are going to inset this. So I'm just going to go inset, so we get those faces on top that we can use later on. And then maybe to around here, and then we can just extrude this inwards, so we get that top section. Alrighty then. So this scale is not looking great. I think this middle section should be thinner. So I'm going to select all those faces and all those faces, and I'm going to scale it on the X and Y. So again, Shift Z, so S and then Shift Z. So maybe, or I should just scale it in the Z, maybe just upwards. So to do that, we can take this face and then just increase or grow our selection. So I'm going to press Control plus, and then maybe one more plus, and then we can just do a G and a Z, and then we just pull this up a bit, so our tower is a bit taller. And then I want to scale this circle inwards, so S and then Shift Z, because I don't want to scale it in the Z axis. Maybe I just want to select these faces around and scale them inwards. So just S and then Shift Z. So I'm just going to pull them in. Maybe it's quite tricky to get the proportions to look right. Interesting. So maybe if I take these and scale them in as well, make this hole on top a bit smaller. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about the proportions? It's always weird to do proportions or to get it right. But yeah, that's obviously part of the process. So I think it's fine. I think let's leave it like this as is, and we carry on, and then we can always try and fix it as we go along. And obviously once we add materials and stuff, it will look a little bit different. But yeah, if you guys want to join the Discord, if you go to the About section, you'll see there is a Discord section, and what I do is I share all the little models I create on live streams. I share that in the Discord, so you can download them for free. I also have a Gumroad link, so you can go there and you can also download the models for free there. And yeah, it's just about learning Blender and having some fun, because Blender is amazing and Blender is fun. Okay, let's do the stones here at the top. So now I'm looking at this part, so I just want to get these 8 stones to pop out here at the top. So I'm going to do 1, 2, and then skip 1, 2. And then let's see if this is going to work. I've got no idea. So I'm going to do Shift Control plus, and that does not work. Cool, thanks for the follow, Gaming Outcasts. I'm not sure why my alert is not working. That's weird. But I saw you followed me on the activity feed now. So maybe... That's weird. Yeah, I've got my alerts set up, so I don't know. But thank you anyway. Thanks a lot for the follow. Appreciate it. Okay, so I'm just going to do this manually. Select those two, skip one, skip one. And there is the alert. Awesome. Thank you very much. So the alert's working. I think the position is a little bit off. Let me just see what's going on here. No, that's right. So yeah, it's working. It's just a little bit delayed, which is probably normal. So yeah, I just saw your activity feed first before the alert came up. Cool. So I'm just going to select these faces like so. And this is not working out. No. Okay, so we will have to do 3 faces then. So 3, 3, 3. I hope this is gonna work. 1, 2, 3. I should probably just use a calculator. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that is working. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so that's working perfectly. So those will be the stones here at the top, and we have a new visitor.
Master, we have a visitor.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you're having fun on this Monday. Yeah, let me know where you guys from and what you guys up to. So for this, I'm just going to extrude this straight forward like so. And then I want to see, I want to scale these faces at the top slightly. So as you can see, they kind of tapering inwards slightly. They go a little bit smaller and maybe also a little bit kind of inwards. So to get them to go inwards, I think we can probably just scale. Yeah, so just a normal scale for that. So I'm just going to pull them in slightly like so. And then I want to scale each individual selection on its own. So I think if we change our transform pivot point from median to individual origins, we should, so then we should be able to scale these individually, which is pretty cool. So I'm just going to scale them not too much. So let's just do that again. So scale and then just kind of pull them down, maybe like so. Yeah, don't know if that's looking alright. I think our proportions are now starting to look a little better. What do you guys think? This is kind of looking, maybe the top section should be a bit bigger. Obviously this reference image is now from a weird angle, so but we can always scale that out later once we see the whole thing kind of coming together. Maybe let's move these up slightly, so G and Z. Now they feel a little small, but I think it's fine. I think what we can do, seems like the gap between the teeth should be separated a bit more. Yeah, I agree, because this is definitely, yeah. So let's see how we can do this. If I scale this more, maybe if I do a Control Plus to select everything like so, and then we can probably do something. So maybe Shift Z to just kind of scale them. Yeah, this is probably gonna mess the shape a little bit, and then SZ to kind of push them down a bit. I don't know, how does that feel? Obviously we are kind of stretching our geometry a bit, but I think the gaps might be a little bit better now. Might be even too big now. So let me just undo that quickly. Undo, and then we do a scale Shift Z and kind of just get them a little bigger like so, and then we can scale them on the Z maybe. Yeah, I think the spacing is a bit better. Cool, thanks for that. Cool, we have another viewer. Can you believe it?
Master, we have a visitor.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Cool, thanks, Gaming Outcasts. It's getting there. So, I think this face, or these faces here at the bottom, I think if we select these, and if you want to continue like a pattern like this, you just do your selection and then you do Shift Control Plus, and then you just plus. And we take that all the way around, because sometimes if you select a like a loop, it doesn't select it in the right I don't know, in the right axes or something, and then you just do that. I'm just going to move this up. So GZ, let me just look at this again. Whoops. Yeah, I want to make this part a little thinner. So GZ, and kind of move that up. Maybe like so. And I think this should come out more. Should definitely come out more. Let's see how we're going to do this. So if I select that, ring around the edge. If I scale this out, we'll probably get some issues there, which is fine because I can scale the inside again. So I'm just going to scale the outside first, and then I'm going to select that section in the center and kind of scale that out as well. We are doing some weird stuff now, yeah, but anyways, let's see what happens. So I'm just going to select how am I going to select these faces now? So maybe if we enable X-ray and we kind of just do a little selection like that, yeah, and then we can scale them out. Let's change this back to median point and then scale Shift Z. Yeah, then we can just pull these up again, so they kind of not going in too far. So maybe that's a bit better. Maybe we can now make this thicker again. Maybe GZ that and move that down. I don't know, I'm just playing with proportions right now. Now the stairs also look a little small. I think the base should be a little bit fatter, so let's see. So that's one object, this is one object. So I'm going to scale this bottom object out a bit, so just a normal scale maybe, and then maybe not in the Z, so Shift Z, and then it's just going to scale that out maybe like that. And then what I want to do is I want to scale the base of this tower so it fits a bit better, I think. So I'm going to isolate this thing first. So Shift H, go into edit mode, select this face, and then go out of edit mode, Alt H to bring that back, go back into edit mode on this one, and then we can scale that, yeah. So now I'm just going to scale this out. So scale Shift Z, kind of scale that out, and then I'm going to select this loop and scale that out. And then maybe just GG and move it up, just a slide, maybe to about here, and then scale that out slightly. So we get like a little bit of a, I don't know, like a more of a tower shape. Okie dokie. Hope everyone's doing well. All right, so what can we do next? So this top part is still freaking me out. Yeah, so if we look at this from the side, you can see these edges are now not straight, and this should obviously be straight. So we need to straighten all these faces going around. So I'm going to select all those faces, and let's see if we can do this. That's going to be interesting to straighten them out. Let me just think. Think. So we'll probably have to do like a scale like that. Okay. Maybe if I select this edge all around and kind of just eyeball it, because I think that's going to be the easiest way to do this. Now there's probably 10 different other ways that I can use, but for now let me just see if I've got the right. Yeah, so that's the edge that I'm scaling, and if we look at this from the side, I'm just going to scale this out and kind of just eyeball this to get it straight like so. And then we'll probably just have to scale these out as well. So let's do that selection again. Quite a cool song. This is from Stream Beats. Stream Beats originals in the house. Yeah, it's just on Spotify. If you search Stream Beats, they have some really, really cool tunes you can use while streaming. Okay, so we've got those top faces, and what do I want to do with them? I want to scale them out. So S, Shift Z, and kind of just move them out. Let's have a look from the side again. So S, Shift Z, and kind of just pull them out. So these ones shouldn't be perfectly straight. They kind of go in slightly. If you look at the reference, you can see they are slanted. I think that is the right word to use. So yeah, we are creating something. Okay, so let's see what else we can create next. So maybe we can do this indent here on the side of this tower. So let's take off the think. I think we are done with that. All right, so let's take these faces all around, and then I hope this is going to work. I'm going to do an inset, so and then just kind of push this down like so. And then I want to extrude this inwards, but obviously not in one direction. So to do that, you will have to do a extrude using the normals. So to do that is you just select those faces and then press Alt-E, and then you get this menu, and then you can select faces along normals, individuals, or manifold. So I'm just going to do faces along normals, and then you can do this. So I just want to pull this in, holding in Shift, and then just kind of do that. Okay, and then I want to just pull this down even further. So this bottom section, GZ, and just kind of make this a little thicker. And now this is a bit thin. So maybe if we just scale these ones up, but then that will probably now mess with everything again. Okay, now the right way to do this is if I select that face and then grow selection, Control plus, maybe then I need to select these faces around, like so, and then I need to deselect all these faces. So I'm just going to do this manually, just like so. And like so. Okay, and then I can just GZ to move them up and kind of get the same thickness that I have on the bottom one. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. So we've got that. I don't want to do the windows just yet. Maybe we can start with the door and the steps. Now I'm just thinking I will probably have to do that as a separate object again, or I can maybe use the base and then use that to extrude those steps from. Okay, I think let's try it. Let's give it a try. So I'm just going to position this a little better so we can see what is happening here. So this should probably come to maybe around this area here. So let me just see if we have enough geometry on this section to use this. We can probably use this. And obviously if you look at this, this is not like perfect architecture. So I think we should get away with just using some extrusions and kind of just rotating them around and kind of bringing them back. So it's not like perfect squares and like perfect geometry going up. So it's kind of a bit wonky. Yeah, I think let's try that. So I'm gonna bring this up from the first step, and I think I'm definitely going to do this as a separate object, so we can always join it later on. So I think that's going to be the easiest, was to kind of use this geometry and that might just cause some issues. So I'm going to go out of edit, or before I go out of edit mode, I'm just going to put my 3D cursor right here on the step and then do Shift S cursor to select it. So we have our 3D cursor there, and go out of edit mode, and I'm going to create a cube and then just scale this down. Okay, so we have our cube, and we will work with local, our local transforms for this, because yeah, that's just going to work better. So I am going to try and align it with this one of these faces. I wonder if I can get some information here. Local, so this is just the transform that it's giving me. It's not going to give me the rotation of that face, which is probably fine. Okay, I am probably overthinking this, so let's just get on with it. So I'm just going to rotate this. So it's kind of matching that angle. It's not perfect, but this tower is not perfect, so I think it's fine. And then I'm just going to scale this down even more. And then I'm going to kind of move it to the side. Let me just see. I'm just going to change this to local. So we're using the local axes of this cube. So Y is this way. And yeah, let's move this up a bit. I'm just gonna hold in control and just to snap it to that face, so it's sitting perfectly on that face. Okay, so I'm just gonna move this in, maybe even move it out some more, so we're kind of on the edge of that thing. Okay, I'm just going to start extruding and see what happens, and then we can always move it into position once we've got that door shape. Or the, yeah, what do you call that? The frame of the door. So, alright, let's do some extruding. So I'm literally just going to go extrude, and then I'm going to scale it slightly so it's a different size, and then extrude it up. Kind of get that block, or that brick, or whatever it's called. And then we can do another extrude and kind of scale it down, maybe move it around a bit. So I'm going to do G and then Shift Z. So I'm only moving it around on that plane. And I'm just going to kind of position it to the corner, maybe scale it down slightly, and then extrude it out. Okay, so we need quite a few of these blocks. And then we'll obviously move it back once we're done and then kind of join it up together. So yeah. Cool, let me know if you guys have any ideas or any concerns or anything like that. Okay, so extrude, scale, maybe this one a little bigger, or maybe one smaller first, and then extrude that up. Okay, and then we do a extrude, scale slightly smaller again, and then extrude up. Maybe something like that. And then we'll probably have to start thinking about kind of rotating this around. So we're gonna rotate this in the Y axis. No, not like that. Undo, and then just redo that. So we're gonna rotate X. So we're just gonna kind of eyeball this. So the first one, let's rotate it to about here. Okay, and then we're gonna extrude. Or let's just do an extrude and then a scale, make this one a little bigger, and then we're going to go to around here, and then we are going to go and rotate this one a bit. So rotate on the X just a little bit more, and then extrude, maybe scale inwards, and then extrude out. This is going to be too big now, I think. Let's just rotate this a little more now, and then maybe just move it over to the Y. Okay, extrude, scale slightly, extrude, rotate X, maybe move this down, and then maybe rotating the X a little bit more. We can probably go 90 degrees here. So if we want to make a face flat against a certain hey, Martin's window, welcome to the chat. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a amazing Monday. And yeah, we are making a little tower from Warcraft. So welcome. So I'm just building this little door frame and see what is happening here. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm doing. So okay, let's just extrude this again. So maybe extrude and then scale and then extrude this over like so, and then just rotate that slightly again. This door feels a little big, but we'll probably just scale the whole thing down when we are finished. So okay, let's do another extrude and then scale this one up a little bigger, extrude it out, and then rotate in the X, maybe something like that, and then just GZ, kind of moving it down. This is probably going to be super janky, but who cares? So extrude, scale, extrude, rotate X, move down, and then maybe we can even move this in. Ooh, that's in the Y. Okay, maybe not. Maybe move it out a little bit further away. Okay, that looks alright. Maybe just rotate it slightly. Like so. Okay, so we do another extrude, scale, bring that in, extrude it outwards, rotate, and then we just need to GZ this one, maybe GY, bring it in a little closer, and then we'll probably I'm going to rotate it slightly more. So we're kind of trying to match this one. Okay, that's fine. Then we're going to extrude, make this one bigger, extrude it out to about here, rotate this in the X, and then just grab it in, move it in a bit. And yeah, so mirroring would definitely be an option. It will definitely make it easier, but I think for this type of model, I'm just gonna do it this way, because obviously this is not exactly the same on both sides. You can probably do it like that. It will definitely save you time, but I'm just doing it manually because this is kind of like a it's not a perfect model. It's not perfect on both sides. It's kind of hand built, if you want to call it like that. But yeah, I'm just going to try and do it. But yeah, definitely mirroring is an option. If you want to check out I don't know if you're familiar with the auto mirror plugin, which is quite nice. You can just add auto mirror when you go to your preferences and your add-ons. Just search for auto mirror. Very, very, very handy. All right, so we've got that face. Let me just do a quick save. You never know what's going to happen. And then we're going to extrude, scale. No, before I do that, it's basically using the modifier, but it's just a lot easier. Let me show you quickly. So I'm just going to do a save here and go out of this. So let's say I'm just going to hide all of these things quickly. So let's say you create a cube. So literally all you do is you select your object and you go to this edit menu on the side, pressing N, enable auto mirror, and then you choose your axes and click auto mirror, and that's basically done. So now you can just go in and you can start editing this, and this will be mirrored. So if you look at the object, it will actually have the modifier applied, but it's kind of just the easy way. Like, you don't have to first cut your object in half and then kind of apply the mirror. It does that for you. So yeah, it's just a really quick way to kind of create a mirror, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's just a quicker way to apply, or an easier way to apply that, I think. Okay, so now with this thing, what I want to do is I want to make this face flat. So to do that, we're going to do a scale Z, and then you can see there, and you just do a 0. So scale Z 0, and then we can just bring this in, so it's a bit more rounder. Okay, and then we can do maybe move this down slightly. I can probably not look at this from the front now. So we're going to do a we have a new viewer. welcome to the chat.
Master, Master, we have a visitor.
So we are just building this little low poly. Hey there, I'm probably not going to be able to pronounce your name. Siniska. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. How's your day going? How's your Monday going? So I'm just going to extrude this down and maybe let's scale this one up so it's a bit janky. Cool, glad you are doing good. Are you also a Blender user? Do you use Blender a lot? So I'm just going to extrude this one again, scale this in, and then pull this down. Cool, yeah, Blender is amazing, eh? Awesome. So yeah, I'm just kind of building this. And as I told everyone earlier, I share all the little models I create during the live streams. I share it on my Discord server. So if you want to check that out, there's a link under the About section, or I can actually just paste it in the chat. So I'm going to paste it in here. Yeah, I'm also pretty new with Blender. I've only been using Blender for about a year. I started in... when lockdown started, basically in 2020, I started learning Blender. I came from Maya and 3ds Max and Cinema 4D and used a bit of Modo. Yeah, Blender is my favorite now, and I'm only using Blender, and Blender is amazing. So there you go. So yeah, you can join the Discord and find all the little models I built. I share them for free on there, obviously for free. These are not amazing models. It's just kind of to learn Blender and to get better. But yeah, there's also a Gumroad link on my About section, also in the Discord, and you can find everything there. And yeah, we're just kind of trying to build a nice little Blender community where we can all learn and create better things. So let's bring that one down. Oh, by the way, I also have you said you're a beginner Blender user. I've got a Blender course on Udemy and on Skillshare, and I do give away free coupons every now and then. I don't have any Udemy coupons right now. You get like a limit how many coupons you can create in a month. But I'll probably share some more coupons soon. What I can do is I can share a link to my Skillshare course, and then you can sign up for a free trial. But yeah, not a lot of people like to do that because you have to kind of put in your credit card details when signing up for a trial on Skillshare, and then you can obviously cancel that before the trial runs out. But yeah, let me know if you want a link and you can check it out. And then you can obviously get it for free. But yeah, so I'm gonna do one final extrude, scale that up, and then extrude it down to maybe, oh yeah, then I want to snap it to this face, so holding in control, and I've got face snapping enabled, and then you just click on that face, and now you know that's perfectly matching the other side. So okay, we have a door. Cool, we have some more viewers. Welcome, everybody.
Master, Master, we have a visitor.
You guys are going to get very tired of that sound effect. I think I need to add some more. I've got a few others, but that's kind of the only one that that works with a new visitor. Maybe I can do something like...
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my underground lair.
Something like that. Yeah, so I've got like all these little sound effects and stickers set up, so I can do like a little thank you, or I can even do some fireworks if there's a new viewer. Like, check the fireworks. 3, 2, 1, bam. Master. Okay, so we need to do something with this door frame, so we kind of need to attach it. What just happened? Something happened. Yay, thanks for the follow, Siniska. Appreciate that. Welcome to the little community we are building. Awesome. Okay, so how are we going to attach this? Yay, Martin's window. Thank you for the follow. That's amazing. Thank you so much. Gaming Outcasts. Hey, can I ask a Blender question not related? Yeah, anytime. please, 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 if you guys have any questions about 3D, like, ask them. And if I can help, I will definitely assist. So yeah, ask away, please. So let's see how we can attach this. I'll probably have to just select this little edge, and I will have to scale this out a bit and maybe move it up. And now that's gonna mess with our tower shape, but don't worry too much about it. So what are we gonna do here? So I'm just gonna take this and kind of push it in so it's kind of closer to our tower. Maybe I need to push it in all the way. And I don't think I'm going to do a boolean or anything like that right now. I just want to kind of get this to look alright. Okay, let me just read your question quickly. Might be more of a workflow question. Don't know, trying to figure out the proper procedure. Got an image, a map like of the world. I use displacement modifier to get the continents off the sea floor, but I'm wondering what is the easiest way to mask off the raised land so I can sculpt on it besides manually painting in the mask. Okay, let me just try and read that again. So I kind of understand what you're saying. So you've got a map of the world and you used a displacement modifier to kind of displace the geometry to get the just a question, did you get a height map of the world, or do you use like a normal image with just kind of the colors? Because if you can get a height map, obviously, then you can do the displacement of the continents, and then you can probably. I'm just trying to think how the easiest will be to select the raised kind of geometry. Because if you want to then sculpt on, then you will probably have to select the raised geometry and then separate them. So if you right click and go separate selection, and then you can sculpt on it. I'm not sure if that is the question. You can definitely do that if you have a height map or a normal map, actually. Normal map or a so it's a black and white map trying to actually make you're trying to make a detailed height map. So it's like a okay. I wonder if you can actually so you're using the low resolution map, and then you do the displacement first, and then you want to add in the details using sculpting, right? I think that is the question. Yeah, so I've never really done something like that. I've used very basic displacement maps and normal maps. I haven't done like anything like on a massive scale like the world. But I will first try and see what is the highest resolution height map I can find, or the highest resolution normal map. I know NASA has got some interesting stuff on their website that I think you can download like pretty high resolution height maps of Earth and the Moon and Mars, and so maybe check there as well. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure. This actually, it's a fictional world. Okay, so did you create the height map yourself in Photoshop, or did you just get a download? Because obviously you can also add in the details then in Photoshop before maybe bringing in the height map into Blender. I don't know if that's going to be, but yeah, you'll probably have to. You created it. Okay. What is the resolution of that height map? Because yeah, there's obviously a way to do it like manually. Let me quickly show you. So if we hide all this and I create a sphere, just a UV sphere. So let's say you have certain areas on your so you've added in the height map and you've done the displacement. So now you have your model that's with the raised kind of geometry, so you obviously have to apply that first, so it's actual geometry. And then once you have your actual geometry, you'll probably have to go in, because it's going to be very like high res model. You'll probably have to go in and change your selection mode to something like circle, So let me just show you. If I subdivide this and you have like all these faces, then you take this and you kind of select your continents. So let's say these are your continents. I'm just kind of doing a very, very quick selection here. So you'll probably have to go in and kind of paint over the continents like so. And then once you have all your continents selected or highlighted, you can separate them. So right click and then separate selection, and then you'll have two models. So your one model will be the sea and the one model will be your continents. And then I can go in and I can sculpt on the continents. So if we enable Dino Topo, I can go in here and I can kind of just sculpt those areas. I don't know if this will work for you. And we have another viewer.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my underground lair.
Yeah, so I think, I don't know, will this work for you? To kind of do it like this? The trouble I'm running into with directly painting the mask is the mask bleeds down the walls of the raised lands. Yeah, I kind of understand. So where it kind of connects with the sea, that's a bit of a problem, right? What I will then probably do is, yeah, I'll probably then just duplicate the whole thing. And then only sculpt. Let me just think. So you duplicate your model twice. Let me just undo this quickly and see if we can. So before I separate it, like so, I will, yeah, you see, we'll probably separate the, oh no, what you will do is I'll duplicate them first. So these faces, I'll duplicate them and then I will separate them. So separate selection. So now you have this as separate, but you still have the continents underneath it maybe. I don't know if that's gonna work. I don't know. I'm probably just confusing everyone. So yeah, I see that's still causing that issue. Yeah, it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. Because you will, yeah, I see the problem. I will probably just have two models. I'll duplicate my model and then I will just sculpt the areas that I want to sculpt, and then I will leave the sea separate. I don't know if that helps. And then, like, let's say, let me just delete, oops, let me just undo this quickly again. So once we go into this, let me just delete that. No, let's not delete that. So I'll probably like select my, let's say this is your one continent, just kind of highlight that, and once we have that, I haven't worked with masks when sculpting. I know there's a way to add a mask right here somewhere. So box mask, face set. Yeah, I've never really used this, but I know you can create a mask like so. I don't know how it works though. And then you can kind of sculpt. Yeah, so I sculpted. Maybe this will work. Because I created this mask now, and now as you can see, if I sculpt around it, it only affects the areas outside the mask. This might maybe be the trick. So this is obviously the other way around now. You'll have to kind of invert this. So you'll draw the mask over the ocean areas, and then just leave the continents, and then you sculpt, and then you just sculpt, and it will leave the sea intact, or the ocean. I think that's the best plan to do this. So I hope I helped a little, but yeah, I've never really done a lot of sculpting, to be honest. So you think trying it without the displacement mod? I think still do the displacement to get the ocean level and the continent level. So then you have that, and then you can see that on your model, and then obviously apply that displacement so it's actual geometry, and then go into sculpt mode and then start painting your mask over the ocean. And then once you have that mask in place, then you can just go crazy and just sculpt, and you don't have to worry. So it's a bit of a manual thing to create that mask. I don't think there's there is probably an easier way to do it, but yeah, that's how I will do it, because I don't know too much about the sculpting stuff in Blender. But yeah, I will probably start there, and then just paint a mask and then sculpt. So yeah. So next, I just want to move this over slightly, like so, and then I just want to push some of these faces in so it doesn't come through the door or through the step. Cool, no problem. So I'm just going to take this edge and kind of just push it in. Maybe same with this vertex, just gonna push that in. And then GX maybe to kind of get it into place. I'm just going to do a G and Shift Z. Kind of place it there. Okay, so we have our door frame. And now we need to do this door. Alright, so I'm going to hide the tower quickly and see what we can do here. So this is obviously just going to be a very kind of flat door, and then we can add in the details. So I'm just going to create a cube. So I'm going to create a cube right here, like so. Scale it down, rotate it a bit so it's kind of matching that, and let's just move it back, and we're going to scale this in the X quite thin. Just move it up a bit, and I'm just going to kind of align this with the eyeball. So let's just rotate this and kind of try to match it and kind of place it in the center. So the fun thing about building models like this is you don't have to be precise, because this is not precise, which is always nice. So I'm going to scale this in the Y, so we kind of just go into the rocks or into the stone, and yeah, and we're just gonna move this down so it goes into the floor. Go into edit mode, select this face, and then we're just going to move this up, so GZ, and then obviously it should not come through the top section, so we can probably just move it up and then kind of scale this in. So scale on the Y, and then we don't want that, so I am going to create a little loop cut. Yeah, yeah. And then we can take this top face and then scale that in. Zoop. Kind of just hiding it underneath all the crap. Okay, so let's unhide our tower again and see what is happening here. So I think I just need to get this, try and get this shape right. So this is sticking through the door, which is not nice. Okay, let's not worry about that too much. Let's first get the shape of this tower right, and then we can maybe look at that. So I'm going to scale this part in just slightly, so we can probably do that. And then we need to make this whole top thing, I think, bigger. So I'm going to just select this face and then Control plus, and then maybe one more, and then maybe let's scale this whole thing out. Scale, and then maybe GZ to make it a little taller. Yeah, I think that's better proportion wise. Cool. Okay, now we can just do a quick save again, and what's happening here, and then we are going to push these edges back in so they're behind the door. So I'm just going to select these three and kind of just go G and X. I'm just going to push them in just so that they behind the door. Now it's affecting this, which is not good. So I'm going to undo that. And maybe let's create another loop cut kind of just around the top section of the door. So if I move these in, it won't affect this top area. So let's have a look. So if I just move this one, it still does, because it's doing that. So I'll probably have to select these faces and then kind of just do an extrude, push them in. So I'm going to do extrude into the normal direction. So Alt E along normals, and then kind of yeah, that bottom section is a bit of a problem. So that's fine. I'm gonna undo that first. Let me just think what we're gonna do here. So I can probably just take those edges and slide them in. It's not really affecting anything else too much, just this little one face right here. So I'm just going to kind of push it in, hide it behind the door. I think we should be fine. Yeah, we have one little problem here, but that's also not too much of a problem, so that's all right. Okay, so we have our basic door frame, and then we can quickly maybe just add some details on the door. So let's just go into edit mode, and I'm just going to do a loop cut here at the top, and maybe another loop cut under it for that top bar, and then the same at the bottom. So this one, and then we select these two faces and we just extrude them in, or maybe out, sorry, maybe extrude them out a bit. And then we need this little door knocker thing. So for that, I'm just going to place the 3D cursor right here in the center. Now for that thing, we'll probably have to create like a little donut and see how that goes. So I'm going to do a torus. Scale this down. Wait, undo that. I just want to set the thickness first. So torus. And then bring the radius in. I'm just going to use this slider here on the side, and then kind of bring that out. So kind of get the scale we want, maybe something like that. Yeah. And then I'm just going to select all these faces. So to do that, you just point your mouse cursor to this object and then just press L for linked. And then we can just rotate this in Y 90 degrees. And we're just going to kind of move this around this thing. So I'm pressing Shift or G and then Shift X to kind of move it around this face. And maybe let's place it, I don't know, somewhere here. And then we'll obviously need something here to kind of attach around or to the door. So I think the easiest way to do this is to select some of these rings like that, maybe this one as well. So I'm holding in Alt and then clicking to select everything around it. And then you can duplicate those faces. So you do mainly architecture or STHLs. So I don't only do architecture, I do other things as well. In the previous one, on the previous live stream, I made a little like a Fortnite hand cannon, which is like almost like a pistol or a gun. Yeah, and I do like other things as well, so not just architecture now. So low poly stuff, and I try and do a little bit of, I also do like physics things, physics, smoke, and just like rigid body stuff. And yeah, so I try and do a little bit of everything. I basically, what I do most for my work is 3D tracking. So I do a lot of 3D tracking, match moving, camera tracking, object tracking, those kind of things. So I'll definitely have some live streams on 3D tracking as well. Landscape, that's something that I definitely want to get into. During my one live stream, I did do a Mars. I basically created a just a very basic SpaceX Starship. And then in the end, I did a little Mars landscape, but very basic stuff, like very low poly. So I did like the Martian surface with some mountains and some hills. But yeah, I really want to get into like more different types of modeling. I even want to do some sculpting. I'm really bad at that. I want to try and get into that as well. So yeah, I want to do everything, like not just low poly stuff, not just modeling. I want to do some animation stuff as well later on. I just want to try and kind of get better at 3D or at Blender. And I'll definitely do some UV editing things and maybe some texture painting maybe one day. I want to get into that as well. And obviously materials like shading and creating your own materials using the shading nodes. So yeah, no, it's going to be everything. Like I want to do everything in Blender. So if you like Blender, you should be able to learn a thing or two with us all as we learn. So, okay, so I'm just going to take those faces. I'm just going to do Shift Alt and select that ring as well. And then what you can do is you can duplicate that. So Shift D, so that's now separate. And now I'm going to scale it up like so maybe. And then I want to separate that into a separate object because I want to add a modifier to it. Or maybe we don't have to. Maybe we can just do a Alt E and extrude along normals and then kind of, yeah, that's not working. If I just do a extrude individual faces, then we'll get something weird as well. So I'm just gonna kind of separate this out first. So with these faces selected, right click, separate selection. Now this is a separate object. So we can probably, what happened there? I duplicated it again. Okay, I'll delete those faces now. So with this new object that I created, I'm gonna add a modifier and then just add a thick solidified. And then kind of just, this thing is freaking out. Okay, let's not do that. I think let's first apply the scale. Apply scale. So sometimes if you have any weird issues in Blender, if you're trying to do an extrusion or an inset and you see things are not working properly, it's probably just the scale that you need to apply. So select that object, go to object and then apply scale. And now if I go into edit mode and I select all of these faces, why are these... Okay, let's just see. If I now do a extrude along normals, we get that, which is not what we want. Normal extrude is also not going to work. So let's try individual faces. We did try faces along normals. That should be fine, but it's not doing what I want. Okay, let's just delete this object quickly. Let's do some problem solving. So I'm going to select all these and just delete all these faces. Okay, let's start again. So I'm going to alt click and then hold in shift to select some of these, like so. Oh, thanks for the message, Siniska. I really hope that you are going to enjoy the streams. So shift alt and then click there. Okay, cool. So now we have that. So I think let's apply the scale to this little knocker first. So I'm going to go out of edit mode, select. Okay, so you see the problem here is it's part of this door object. So I'm first going to separate it out. So I'm going to select all of these connected faces. So just point to one, press L. So now we have this. And now I'm going to right click, separate selection. So now this is a separate object on its own. And now I can apply the scale. So object apply scale. Hopefully this will fix everything for us. So now if we go into edit mode and I select some of these edge loops. So alt click, hold in shift, click, click, click. Maybe those as well. Let's try and do extrude again now. So control E and along normals. And that's exactly what I want. So that's exactly what I want. Just to kind of create something that looks like it's kind of attached to the door. I don't know. Very basic stuff. So cool. So we have our basic door in place. We have our steps. Oh, we don't have steps. We need to do some steps. Okay, so I think let's do the sides first. These I don't know what you call them, but these sides. So I'm going to use the door frame, I think, to do this. So if you want to isolate an object in Blender, you select it and then you press Shift H, and that will hide everything else and just leave, just focus on that one object, which is pretty nice. Okay, let's do a save and go into edit mode. And then I'm going to take these two faces. Martin's window. I'm literally busy with steps. Yay. Steps are the best. Enjoy your steps, man. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what we can do. So these are not aligned. As you can see, that face is not aligned with that face. So what I want to do is I want to just make them both kind of straight. So I want to select this one and then rotate, oh no, scale, sorry. Scale in the x-axis and then 0. Now we know that one is straight, and this one scale x, also 0, so that's also good. So I'm going to just need to fix this one. So I'm going to take that vertex and then just G Shift Z, so I can move it on that face, and then the same with this one, G Shift Z. So Shift Z basically means it's gonna exclude the Z axis, so it's just moving in X and Y. So that's a little nice trick that you can use. Okay, so we need to take these two faces, and I think that's going to be these two things coming down. I don't know what you call that. Step number 5. I have no idea, but let me give you some fireworks for that. There's some fireworks just for you, Martin's window. Okay, so we need to extrude this. So first of all, let's apply our scale again, because this started out as a cube. So let's apply the scale. Object apply scale. And yeah, okay, extrude. Here we go. Let's see what happens. So I'm just going to extrude it like this. It's literally like that. And then I'm going to GZ, move them down like so. And then I'm going to take these two edges and move them down as well. So GZ, pull them down. And then we have that, which is probably what we need. Okay, so now we need to create those steps. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth one should be at the top. So what's going to be the easiest way to do this? Loop cuts maybe? Let's do 3. Maybe let's add 4, 5. We have 1, 2. No, that's too much. 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if this is going to work, but let's try it. So 3 loop cuts on that side and 3 loop cuts on this side. To do a loop cut is Control R. Okay, so let me know in the chat what you guys are busy with. If you are working on a little Blender project, or yeah, feel free to let us all know what you guys are working on. So now I'm probably just gonna bridge these. Why are steps sometimes so difficult for my brain to do? Like, we can obviously bridge these, so I can select these two faces and then just do a right click and then bridge faces, but that's not gonna work. Just a mushroom to my cave project. Oh, that sounds awesome. Yeah, you must join the Discord, and then there's a section where we can all share like renders and little screenshots of our projects that we're busy with. It's always nice to see different projects that people are busy with. So yeah, feel free to come and share it. So you see, now the problem is if I want to flatten this top section, if I do a SZ and I do a 0, that's obviously going to mess up my sides. So I don't think this is going to work unless, let me just undo this quickly and think we have a different plan maybe. Yeah. What if I do a loop cut like so? And yeah, let's do a loop cut there in the center, and then maybe one on this side. So we have those faces to work with, and then we can maybe extrude or bridge these two. Let's just see if this is going to work. So bridge that, and then we can obviously go scale Z and then 0 to flatten that out. So that's perfect flat. So maybe something like this will work. Yeah, let's give it a try. Let's see how it works. So I'm going to create another loop cut right here on the edge, and I'm just going to eyeball this again, just on the edge, like so. Maybe, yeah, that's fine. So now I can take these two faces and these two faces. I don't know actually if I needed to do that, but yeah, I'm going to take this edge, move it down, and then move it in a bit. So like so, and then this step we're gonna scale Z0 to make it flat. I don't know, I think I am overthinking this way too much, because I could probably just take like cubes and create this and kind of just push it into the sides. So yeah, sometimes I overthink these things, and that's how we learn, I think. So let's do another little loop cut here, another one here, and then select those faces and those faces, bridge them, and then take this one, move it down to create our little step, and then move it in so it's kind of straight, and then select this face, scale Z0. Okay, so we have 3 little steps. We need one more. So let me just see if I unhide the door, what's happening here. Okay, so obviously this thing I will have to edit and kind of remove the geometry that's sticking out here everywhere. So let's not worry about that too much right now. So I want to focus on this object again, Shift H, and then let's do this last little step. So I'm just going to add a tiny little loop cut right here, and then take these faces and these faces, bridge them, and then we can take this little edge, move it down like so, and I'm gonna move this one up. Okay, that's gonna cause some issues. So I want to select that vertex and that vertex, and then move them up, so then it shouldn't break everything else. We can maybe select these 2 vertices as well to bring them up with everything else. That kind of creates a little bit of a slope. Alright, so this face we're going to do scale Z0 to make it flat, and I think we have our steps. So nothing crazy, but I think it's looking okay-ish. What's happening at the bottom? So we have a edge coming through here. So maybe what I can do is I'm just going to take all of these faces, so that one all the way to here, and kind of just move them down. So G, Z, yeah, just kind of pushing it down a bit. All right, now we need to clean up the base of the tower. So Alt G to bring everything back. Now we need to edit this thing. So first of all, I'm gonna, let me just see, kind of eyeball, see what we need to remove. So everything from this side to this side. So if I do a Shift H to focus on that, we need to kind of break everything here out. So what's the easiest way to do this? So maybe to create a little loop cut right here, and a little loop cut right here, and a little loop cut right here. And then we can probably, maybe let's create a loop cut here at the bottom as well, like so. So now we can select these faces, and we can maybe extrude them inwards let me just see if I bring everything up again. So then we can kind of see what we need to do here. So let's see here. So this face and these faces, I can probably move down a bit. That's fine. I'm gonna select this face and then push this face back. Okay, now we just need to fix our door. So as you can see, that little step, that's actually fine. I think I'm just going to take this door and then just take this bottom face and then just drag it down. So G, Z, and then just push it down. So we kind of have something like that. Okay, it's not perfect, but luckily this tower is not perfect, so it's cool. So let me just see if we can do anything with the steps, because I'm not happy with this last step. So can I get in here to see what's happening inside the model basically? Okay, so we need to take this face and then kind of just move it backwards so it's inside the door, so it looks a little bit cleaner. Okay, I think that's fine. Let's do a save. Cool, I want to check out your link quickly. That is my favorite GIF of all time. Adrian, welcome. When I clicked on that link and I saw that GIF, I was like, that is Adrian. Sorry, I didn't even check your name. I just clicked on the link and I was like, Adrian, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're not working too hard. I'm actually I took the day off, so I have a little bit of a holiday day and I decided to do a live stream. But thanks for the gift. Thank you so much. I can give you some fireworks for that. Here we go. Best gift ever. Thank you. Okay, so what can we do next? We've got the door, we've got the steps. There is some massive issues here at the bottom. Not massive, but we have some issues. What is this? This is part of... Yeah, it's part of this thing. So I'm just going to push these back in. So G, Z, and kind of just push them up so we don't see them. And then we have some more issues if we look at this from the side. So we need to bring the bottom section of this down all the way to the grid. So, okay, so easiest way to do this. I have a break from Blender and I forgot basic shortcut. Which shortcut is that? Let me know and I can see if I can help you. So I'm first going to just focus on this. So Shift H, and then we are literally just going to take all of these faces at the bottom. So I'm just going to box select them like so. And then I want to look at this from the side and then just move them down. And then I'm going to do a SZ to kind of scale them in the Z axis, and then 0 to flatten them out. And then I'm going to GZ to kind of move it up again. And then we can probably do a snap to increment and then absolute grid snap. I'm going to enable that, and then GZ, hold in control, and then snap to that little to the grid basically. So now if we do Alt H and hide everything, we should see that's now flat on the ground, which is nice. And we have our door. Not really happy with this section here at the back. So maybe what we can do here is we can select some of these faces, and then we're going to do some proportional editing right here. So I'm going to select these faces as well, like so. And then I'm going to enable proportional editing here at the top. And then if you move it around, you'll see it kind of bends. And you can increase this size with page up and page down. And then I kind of just want to move them back in the X, and maybe make this a little smaller, maybe a little bigger. It kind of just bends the whole thing a little. So it kind of, I'll probably do a rotate as well, but that's fine. Now our door is having some issues. So I just want to move that in as well. So move that in. Yeah, now it's doing that again. Maybe what we can do to fix that is to just select all these front faces like so. And I'm just holding in control to kind of select all the faces in that loop. And then I'm just going to move this to the front. Maybe without proportional editing this time. So I'm just going to do a GX and kind of just pull them out so they come out further to the front. Let me just read your question quick. To bring STH to World Origin, this fancy wheel. What is STH? So, oh, sorry, this one, the snapping tool to move something. So if I bring up the snapping tool, I do a Shift S. Is it this one you're asking about? Then you can do a selection to cursor or cursor to selected if you want to snap something. Yeah, so basically if I want to, let's say I've got a box maybe over here, and I want to move an object to a certain position on this cube. So I can go into edit mode. Maybe I want to move an object to this corner. So I can select this vertex and then do a Shift S and then cursor to selected. So it's going to snap my 3D cursor there. And now I can create another object. So let's say I'm just going to reset my cursor to World Origin first. Cursor to World Origin. And then you can create your other object, which is say a sphere. And now let's say you want to move that sphere over here. So let me just do this again. So select that vertex, Shift S, cursor to selected. So your cursor is sitting right there. And now you can select your sphere, Shift S, and then selection to cursor. And then it's going to snap right there. I hope that is the question. Cool, we have a new visitor.
Master, we have a visitor.
Okay, so let's look at the wireframe. Wireframe is looking okay-ish. Cool, no problem. I hope I answered your question. Yeah, but using the snapping and the 3D cursor is just a game changer to quickly just to move things around or to snap something to something else. Okay, so next what we need to do, we've got our steps. I just want to fix this front maybe a little. So if we take these edges and kind of move them down some more, maybe like that, and then we can bring this one down as well, and then maybe just flatten this one out. So scale Z and then 0. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. We have some weird geometry, but I don't think it's the end of the world. We can probably move these out. Okay, it's overlapping a little here. I think it's just this one that needs to go in. Yeah. And then maybe up. Yeah. Something like that. And same on this side. Let me just see what's going on here. Yeah, they were just kind of overlapping. Sometimes your vertices will overlap and it will cause some issues, and we have an issue here as well. What is this? Kind of just push that in, maybe just down. Okay, I think let's change the music up a little. We've gone through this whole playlist, which is the Stream Beats original. Let's do some synth wave, which is like, yeah, pretty cool. A little bit more kind of sci-fi vibes. Yeah, I hope everyone is doing well on this Monday. What you guys up to? You guys working? You guys chilling out? Or what is happening? Okay, so let me just do a quick save. So maybe the flag. Yeah, let's do the flag. So I'm gonna set my 3D cursor right here on this top plane. So Shift S, cursor to selected. Yeah, that I'm just reading your comment, Gaming Outcasts. That's super cool, eh? It's really, really cool. I enjoy the whole kind of the 80s synth vibe. And yeah, the synth wave is really, really cool. I also listen to it when I do some work. Because I can't really listen to like normal popular music when I work, especially anything with like vocals. It just distracts me. My brain focuses on the vocals or on the lyrics, and then you can't work. But listening to something like this is just so relaxing. Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, so we have our little 3D cursor here. Let me know if the music is too soft, or if it's too loud, or if it's just right. So what we can do here is I'm just going to create a cylinder. So literally just going to go add a new object and a cylinder, and then scale it down all the way. So we need a very, very tiny little flagpole here in the middle, in the center. And then I am just going to take this top face and kind of just drag it up. So G, Z. And I'm going to scale it down like so. Maybe move it down slightly. And yeah, that looks kind of okay-ish, I think. Okay, let's see. Whoops, that's a like. That's not going to work. I actually need to update that like sticker, because I used to stream on YouTube before moving over to Twitch, and that was my kind of like sticker. So yeah, let's do a little flag. How are we gonna do this? So the easiest will probably be to use like an actual cloth simulation to create a flag and then kind of freeze it. But I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm just gonna add a little just a little cube, and maybe then kind of shape it into a flag. So let's see how that works. So I'm going to look at this from the side, and I am going to place my 3D cursor somewhere here. So that face right at the top, Shift S, cursor to select it, and then I'm going to add a cube, and that's going to be our flag. So I'm going to scale it down, and then maybe just move it down like so. And then I want to make it obviously really thin, so I'm going to scale it in the X, make it really thin, maybe something like that. And then we are going into edit mode and going into vertex select mode, and then I'm going to enable X-ray so we can kind of see through it. So we're moving both the front and the back vertex. Okay, so I'm just going to create a very, very basic shape here. So maybe if we just scale this down, move it out. Maybe we can scale this down all the way. Wait, no. Undo that, move it out, and then scale it in the Z only. And then we can create the little things in the other side. So maybe if we add some loop cuts, maybe just 2 loop cuts, and then we can take these 2 edges and scale them in the Z. So S and Z, kind of move them out like so. And then we can see how we're going to create these things. I'm just going to take those 2 faces and extrude them out. And I'm going to grow the selection, and then I'm going to scale this in the X-axis. So it kind of comes around like so. Yeah, it's not the the most amazing flag ever, but yeah, let's just see what we can do here. So I'm gonna add another loop cut here at the top, like so. And I'm gonna take this loop cut and kind of just scale that in the X. Okay, and then we're gonna just add some loop cuts here so we can maybe just create a bit of a shape. So let's enable X-ray again, and we take these. Maybe let's enable proportional editing. So the shortcut for proportional editing is just O for Oscar, or for I don't know, for proportional editing. So okay, so let's see what we can do. Let's just bring this proportional editing down using page down. What's happening here? Where is this? G, and then bring it down. Okay, so let's just look at this from the front again. So nope, aside. So G, and then kind of just move it, I don't know, move it around a bit, see what we get. Maybe something like that, and then maybe this one, whoops, just loop that, and then G, Z, maybe, I don't know, this is looking very janky, but that's one of those things. O Ross, yes, exactly, thank you Martin's window. That is exactly what the shortcut stands for Oros, nothing else. I want to create a little thing here at the top, which is not on the reference, just a little sphere. So let's create a little sphere, UV sphere, and then just scale it down. Because I don't know, they put these things on top of flagpoles, and that's what we're gonna do. So maybe scale it down, move it up. I don't know. We have a little round thing. Okay, so we have a flag, we have steps, stairs, we have a door, we have the platform. Maybe we can add these little bricks on the side that kind of sticks out here. I don't know what the reason is for them, but maybe, let's see. Okay, so how are we gonna do this? So I think if we just take some of these faces, like let's say this face, and maybe random face around, maybe these two, this one, and this one, some random bricks that's gonna stick out. And then I can probably do a Control Plus to grow. No, that is definitely not gonna work. So what I want to do, so we can obviously extrude these, but that's not really what I want. I want to select these top faces maybe as well, and the bottom ones. So let's just do this manually, and let's hope it's going to work. So I'm just doing shift and click, like so. And then I'm going to go, I can either scale these, but that's not going to work. Let's just switch off proportional editing. And then we're going to go Alt E and then extrude faces along normals. So that's going to give you these bricks that kind of sticks out a bit. So yeah, maybe that's fine. Just to kind of have some little bit of detail. Then we can do the same at the top. So the top ones are a little bit different because they kind of come out from the top and they sticking out. So I'm going to do a loop cut right around here, and I'm going to select some of these random faces, and I'm literally just going to extrude them out. So maybe one here, maybe this big one, maybe this one, maybe this big one again, maybe one small one in the center. So these ones you can literally just do a Alt E, and then we want to extrude along the normals, push them out so they come out a little further, and then we have those random looking bricks. Okie dokie. So, what do we need? What else do we need? Let me know in the comments what you guys want to see. Oh, we need the windows. We need those windows. Martin's window. What do you think about the windows? So, how are we going to do this? This is going to be a nice one to do. Because for this I'll probably have to create one and then array it around our little thing. Yeah, so let's create the frame first. So I'm gonna go and this is gonna be interesting. So I'm firstly just going to put my 3D cursor somewhere around here. So Shift S, cursor to select it, and then I am going to go out of edit mode. Let's do a save, and I'm going to use a cube for this. So I'm going to create a cube, scale it down all the way, and our rotation is completely messed up, so I'm just going to kind of rotate this like so. Maybe just move it out a little bit. Okie dokie, this is going to be interesting. So our axes is still set to local, so that's perfect. So probably overthinking this again, but let's just move this over to the side like so, and then I'm going to take this face, move it up like so, and then I'm going to extrude that and move it over to the side like so, and then I want to rotate this face minus 90. So I'm just typing minus 90 and press enter. Okay, so we have that. Maybe I can move this over slightly and maybe down a bit so it's not as tall. And then maybe what I can do is I can select all of these, I can duplicate it, and then move it over to in the Y axis, and then I want to rotate it around. So I want to rotate on the X 180 degrees. So 180, press enter. Here we have something like that. And then we can probably just breach these two faces like so. And then I'm going to do a little loop cut here at the bottom and a loop cut here at the bottom. And I'm going to breach that face and that face. Bridge faces. Okay, so we have a little window frame. I don't know if the size is right. Maybe we can scale this in a bit. And now I just want to see if I can kind of align this to the wall. Because obviously this is at an angle, so we need to kind of rotate this. And it's a bit tricky. But we should be able to do this. So I'm just going to kind of push it in there and see if everything is okay-ish. That's maybe fine. Yeah. And then what we can do is once we have all our windows, we can create a boolean with the tower. I think that's probably going to be better if I create a boolean and then delete the inside geometry that it's going to kind of create. I think that's going to work. Now the next step I am probably going to mess up, and that's doing an array around an object. And it's one of those things that you don't often do it, and when you need to do it, you kind of don't always remember how to do it. So I'm going to try my best to do this and see what's going to happen. So I'm going to select this tower, and I'm going to just make sure that the pivot point is in the center. I think it is. Yeah, it is. And let's just save this first. And then I'm going to set my 3D cursor to this object. So 3D cursor to select it, and it's going to place it right there by the pivot point. Okay, so now what we need to do is, let me just think, we need to create an empty. So I'm going to create an empty right there in the center. So just a normal plain axis empty, and it's kind of sticking through, which is nice. So we can select it. So this is our empty, right that, or right there. And yeah, now we need to try and do this array around. Now I know I need to set my pivot point for this object, the one that I'm going to rotate around. I need to set that to the what do you call it, the empty, I think. I might be wrong. Empty. Yes, thank you, Martin's window. I know I showed you how to do it and we had a chat about it, and I always forget, so I'm gonna mess this up completely. So let's see what happens. So I'm gonna select my window, I'm gonna right click and go set origin to 3D cursor. So now this object's pivot point is basically right there in the center. So if I rotate this around Z, you'll see that it's gonna rotate, but it's not perfect because... Why is it not perfect? Well, because this object is not perfect. That's probably why. I don't know. We'll have to see. So, okay, I'm just going to save it. I'm going to give it a try. So I'm going to go to my... I'm going to select this window, go to my modifiers, and then I'm going to apply a array modifier. So we have the array, and we don't want to do a relative offset, so I'm going to untick that. We want to do an object of offset. So I'm going to expand this, enable object offset, and then for the object I'm going to select the empty. So just use the little dropper, empty. Okay, now for the moment of truth. So I'm going to just increase this number, count, and then I'm going to rotate the empty. So I'm going to select the empty, rotate, and then Z, and it's not working. It's not working. It's not working. It's not working. What am I missing? Okay, let's try again. So we have our offset fixed. That is fine. Come on, Martin's window. I need some assistance. I need some help. So maybe the pivot should not be... The pivot of the window should maybe be in the center of the object. So I'm first going to try that quickly. So I'm going to delete this array. I'm going to right click on the window, set origin to geometry. So it's now in the center of this window. This thing is still fine. The empty is still good to go. So let's try it again. So window, array. We want to do an object offset. And we select our little empty. Okay, something's happening here. Okay, cool. I think I know what the problem is. We didn't set the scale. So let me show you. If I delete this array again and we select our window, go to object, apply scale. Let me just quickly explain to you guys why we do this. So if you look at this item properties, you'll see that the scale of this window is 0.02 all around X, Y, and Z. Now let's say this thing was scaled in the X. You'll see that the X scale will be different than the Y, and etc. Now, whenever you try and add like modifiers and arrays and things, it's going to use this scale attribute to kind of manipulate that object. Like if you do an inset or if you do an extrude or anything, it's using these scale attributes to basically scale your object. So let me just undo that scale. So we want this to be 111, so that everything you add on top of it, any modifier, it will treat it as a 111 scale. I don't know if that even makes sense, but yeah, you always kind of want your scale to be 111. So I'm selecting the window, object, apply, scale. So now if I press N to bring up the side menu, you'll see the scale is set to 111, which is perfect. Okay, so let's try this again. So I'm gonna add my array modifier, and I want to tick object offset, and this is quite a cool song. Select our empty, and something's happening here, but I don't think that is right. You can see there's a window right in the center, and if I rotate this it's just rotating that center one as well. If I increase the number, it kind of goes all over the place. So you can see it's doing some magic. Okay, so I think we were right with the first pivot. So I'm gonna delete the array again, and I'm gonna set the Windows pivot point to the center. So right click, set origin to 3D cursor. So now we have that again. Okay, yeah, I'm trying my best to explain this because every time I do this I kind of mess it up. So let's try this. Let's try and figure this out. So our Windows pivot point is in the center, same pivot as our empty. So if I rotate this, you'll see it rotates around there. So let's add our array again, and we want an object offset, and I want to choose our empty. Okay, something is happening, but again, this is not exactly what I want. You see, it's kind of scaling up. Okay, I think I know what this is causing. I think the scale on our empty. Yeah, so you see our empty, because I scaled it up, so we can see it kind of coming through the tower. You can see it's now set to 1.665. So let's apply the scale to our empty as well. That's the only thing I think can be causing this. So let's go back to our window, add an array, and let's go to object offset and tick this. And I think that's actually working. It's obviously, it looks like it's not perfect there, but it's because this object is not, it's not perfect. It's not I kind of just eyeballed the location. So now it's working. It's working. So I'm just going to increase the amount, and then we can use this thing to rotate. So then you basically just rotate your empty. So if you see, if I put it kind of here, and if I add more arrays or more like so, you see, it's because our okay, I know what this is, because we applied the scale but we didn't apply the rotation. Yes, that's the thing. So let's start again. So now if I click on this window and I go back to this properties panel, you'll see the rotation is all weird. 0, and then yeah, because we kind of tilted it. So we want to apply the rotation as well as the scale. I don't think we have to apply the location. Let's just do the rotation first and see what it does. So with that object selected, same process, object apply, and then rotation. So now you'll see it's going to reset the rotation to 0, but it leaves your object in that same position. So now if I just test, yeah, you see kind of that works a bit better. So we need to apply the scale and the rotation, and make sure you apply it for both your object and your empty, because if your empty has got a weird scale, even maybe a rotation, well, I can just set this back to 0 for now because we just rotated that. So let's see if it works now. So window, and then add our array, and then we untick that, and we tick object offset, and we choose our empty. Bam, I think it's working. And then we just increase the number. Let's say we want, how many do we want? Maybe like 7 or 8, maybe 8. And then all you do is, because they will create all those copies on top of this one until you rotate your empty. So if you rotate this, you'll see we get some interesting things. So we just want to rotate this around the Z. So RZ, and then there we go. It's working. Cool. And then you can obviously do some math and see how much do you need to rotate this. So let me explain that quickly. So currently we have how many? We have 8 windows, and we want to rotate them 360 degrees around this thing. Now the cool thing about Blender is, like, if I select my empty, and this is the amount we are rotating, so this is the degrees. So we want to take 360 and divide it by 8, because that's the number of windows we have. And you can literally type in math right here in Blender. So you can go here, the Z, and I can type 360 divided by 8, and then enter. And it gives me 45. And look at that. It places them perfectly around your object. So yeah, it's really cool to be able to do little math formulas and stuff right inside of Blender. You don't have to grab a calculator. You can do it right inside of Blender. Okay, so next step, let me just grab a cigarette. Next step, what we need to do is we need to, I'm going to take a Boolean to, I think maybe to intersect these windows with the tower, and that will hopefully create some extra geometry in the center so that we can actually select like not the whole face but just the face inside the window, and then we can maybe push that in, or we can delete it even, or we can just apply like a black texture or something to it. Okay, so let's do that. So let's just do a save. I'm not naming my objects. I'm sure Martin's window is very proud of that. Yeah, always good to name your objects. As you can see, I didn't do it at all. I'll just combine everything and just call it tower, so that's fine. But yeah, it does make your life easier if you rename your objects. So now let's do this Boolean quickly. So I'm going to select the thank you, Martin's window. Let me give you a little sticker. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so maybe I need to okay, here's a sound effect for you, Martin's window.
Throw me a frickin' bone here. I'm the boss. Need the info.
Thank you very much. Alright, let's do our Boolean. So, we are going to select our tower. Let me just apply the scale for the tower as well. As you can see, the scale's all messed up. So, object, apply, scale. Okay, so we are going to go to modifiers and apply Boolean. And this will probably be intersect, but yeah, we can change it now. So I am going to select the object, the window. You should add an applause sound for every time you figure something. I actually do have an applause sound. Have a listen. 3, 2, 1. There we go. So it's very I need to get like different applause sounds. That's the only like the cleanest one I could find. That wasn't like super loud and super crazy. So it's very just like a little basic applause sound effect. Alright, let's see what we have here. So if I go into wireframe, I can now see that we can probably we can't. What's happening here? Studio audience one will be like a that'll be cool, like a really fake kind of applause and some fake studio audience laughter as well. That's always fun. Okay, so what am I doing here? So we have the array. So I think I'm going to apply the array because we don't need to change anything array wise. So I'm just going to apply that. So these are now all actual objects. And now if we go to, okay, so intersect is not going to work because that's just going to add or leave the intersect object, and then union will probably also not work. Difference might work, like it will create those cuts. I think that will probably work. Okay, I'm gonna try this. I'm just gonna do a save again, and then I'm gonna apply this. And now let's go. Yeah, there we go. So if I go onto my tower model, go into edit mode, you can see now we can select those faces that it basically created for us because it used the Boolean. So I'm just gonna create a black little texture or material and then just apply that. So let's do a little material. So we're going to go to our material section here at the bottom, just create new. I'm just going to call this black. black as the night, and give it a base color of black. And we don't want any specular, so bring that down. Roughness, we can go all the way to the top. And now we just click on assign. Assign. So obviously that's going to assign it now to the old tower because we only have one material. So I think let's create a base material quickly for this as well. So just a gray like so. And yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to do the full texturing and everything today. Let's see how it goes. So gray, and I'm just going to drop this down to like a dark kind of gray. And let's just maybe put this above the other one. And then maybe what we need to do, go into edit mode, and then we can do a select all, and then select the black that we assign to those faces, and then we click deselect. And that didn't work at all. So what I need to do, I'll probably just need to select everything again, and then kind of just deselect these windows. Let's just do it the manual way. Sometimes there's a quick way and sometimes there's a slow way, and we are doing the slow way. Okay, so we have our basic gray for now, and we should have probably done the windows as well. So for the windows, I'm just going to add gray. And then we can do the steps gray as well. I'm just going to add this all over. And for the door, we can do, what color is that? So the door frame is obviously gray as well. I'm just adding basic colors now. This is obviously not textures, but it's fine. So for the door, we're going to create a new one, and we're going to call this brown. And we're just going to create a little brown color. And that's cool. And then maybe for these panels, let me just see. I probably can't do a linked because that's not going to work. So I'm just going to do a Control plus. Well, let's first select these two faces and Control plus. So for this, I want to add a darker brown. So new material, dark brown, and we're gonna change the color to a darker brown, and then we're gonna assign. Hey there, CGDJ. How you doing, man? How are you doing? Learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist. Pablo Picasso. That's a very nice quote, man. Really, really cool. Yeah, and the end of the day, we are all just using tools to create stuff. So it doesn't matter if you're using a paintbrush or an iPad or Blender. So yeah, welcome to the chat, man. Welcome to the chat. Let me give you a little welcome.
Master, we have a visitor.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my underground lair.
Okay, so let's apply this darker brown to that. That's fine. And definitely an applause. Whoa, what happened now? Cool, thanks for the follow, CGDJ. Sorry, I need to focus when I'm reading that name. Let me give you a little applause for that amazing quote. Thank you so much. Cool, so next I want to add a little silver to this little knocker. So I'm going to create a new material. Let's call this silver. And this is just going to be like a gray, and we're going to up the metallic so we get a bit of shine and maybe roughness down a bit. Yeah, that's looking all right. And next we want to, what color is the flag? Okay, what color should I make the flag? First comment, I will make it that color. Give me a color for the flag. I'm going to make the pole gray so long. Or silver maybe. Maybe silver. Green. Okay, cool. We're going to go with green. So we have our little flag. Oh yeah, a nice little tip. If you want to zoom in on a specific object or a face or anything, you just select it and then press full stop. Bam. Or you can use the other shortcut, tilde. Yeah, so the little tilde key above the tab, you can select that and then press the tilde key. I think it's called the tilde key, and then view selected, like so. Or you can do tilde 3. All right, so we're doing green. So we are creating a new color and call this green. And should it be dark or light? Or middle? Something like that. Maybe we can just move this up a bit. Okay, so we have a green flag. We have we need the brown wooden kind of floor here. So I'm just going to add a brown color. So you select that face, and I'm going to add a new material slot, and then just add let's do dark brown, and then a sign. That doesn't look like dark brown to me. Let's add the other brown. So I'm gonna remove this one. No, I can't. So I'm just gonna change it to brown, and that should, I don't know, it's probably because this brown we need to take down the specular, and the roughness we can set that all the way up. Yeah, that's probably better. And we can do the same with the dark brown as well. So this dark brown, I'm going to bring down the specular and up the roughness, because usually wood don't really reflect. Okay, so let's do a save. Let's see what else we can add. Obviously we can do a lot with textures, but I'm not really going to add textures. Emerald green. Emerald green. Let's see. Emerald green. I have no idea. Let's say emerald green. Maybe, I don't know. That's emerald green. There you go. Thank you very much. I have no idea. Okay, so maybe let's add this blue thing darker. Okay, cool. Let's do a bit of darker. Maybe something like that. Yeah, like so. Cool. So I think next what we need to do is this blue ribbon or whatever they use like around the base of the tower. I'm just going to take this tower, go into edit mode, and then select all of these faces around. And then let's just add a blue. So new material slot, new material. Let's call it blue. And give it a nice... This is probably like a royal blue. So maybe something nice. Like so. Okay, we have that. I'm gonna hide this empty because we don't need to see that anymore. We can actually delete it because we're done with that array. So I am kind of happy with what we have created in 2 hours and 15 minutes. There's your applause. Thank you kindly. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a little plane. And let me just put this down. Zoop to the floor. And yeah, I'm not going to add like textures really. I'm just going to add a color here. So let's just call this grass. Grass. Add a bit of green, nice and dark. Whoops, that's not gonna work. Maybe, where's the... No. What am I doing? Green, bring it down, dark, and we want to, yeah, disable the specular roughness, and then we can make it nice and dark. Okay, let's do a very quick render. So I'm going to bring in an HDRI quickly. So I'm going to go to the world settings and then click on this color and then just select environment texture. It's going to go all pink because we haven't loaded a texture in yet. So I'm going to go to open and I'm just quickly browsing to my HDRIs. I don't think you guys will be able to see this, but I'm literally just selecting a kind of outdoor I need more HDRIs. I need to download more HDRIs, but I'm just going to select one with like a sky and yeah, just something like this. It's like an outdoor type of thing. So that's going to give us our lighting, and I want to hide our HDRI. So I'm going to go to the render settings, go to film here at the bottom, and then just tick transparent. And that's going to hide that away. And then I'm going to drop down the intensity of this HDRI. So currently it's set to 1. So I'm going to bring this down to like 0.2. And then maybe let's add in a light, maybe a sun. Let's see how that's going to look like if we just kind of pull this to the side so we get a nice little shadow. And let's just scale this up nice and big. And now I want to create a camera, so Control A, camera. And a really easy way to synchronize your camera to your current view. So let's say I want my camera to kind of be from this angle. You just go to View and then go to Align View, and then you choose Align Active Camera to View. Bam. So it's just going to kind of snap that on. We see on your camera. What do you mean? Sorry, I'm not sure what you mean there. Is the stream frozen? What's happening here? No, that's working. The background. We see on your camera background. Sorry, I'm confused. Selected. You were selected. Cool. Sorry, I'm not exactly sure what you mean. No problem. So, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this camera a little bit further away. So I'm going to, with the camera selected, I'm going to go into N and then go to View and then just click this camera to view. And that's going to lock your camera to your view. So now you can kind of move around and you can kind of see what angle is kind of working for you. Maybe something like this. And then just remember to untick that again so you don't kind of accidentally move it again. And then a quick shortcut to jump into your camera. You can either use this icon here on the side, or you can use 0 on your numpad. And that's just a really easy way to kind of jump into your camera. Okay, so next what I want to do is let's just maybe increase the strength or the intensity of our sun. So maybe let's make it 2. Maybe even more. Let's bring it up to like nice little sunlight, maybe 10. Yeah, it looks like a really old game. So I'm gonna rotate my plane so we don't get this corner here at the back. So R and Z. I'm just gonna rotate it so we have a nice horizon, and maybe let's move this back. Whoops. So maybe something like this. And then we probably need some something in the background, but what can we do? Maybe I can just, that's one big plane. So I'm just going to take this edge and just extrude it up. Oops. Extrude Z, and then we can always just bevel this to create a bit of a smoother horizon. I don't know if that's going to work really. But I just want to set this specular to 0. Okay, yeah, I think that's fine. We don't kind of see the background, which is cool. Okay, so next let's do a render and see what we have. So I'm just going to do an Eevee render. So what I want to do is I just want to up the render passes or the samples to 128. And I want to enable ambient occlusion so we get those nice little contact shadows. And then bloom, I always enable this. Screen space reflections, we don't really need that because yeah. And let's do a render, see what we get. Maybe no, I was thinking of adding a kind of light inside, but yeah, we'll have to change quite a bit. So it looks kind of exactly the same as the viewport because we're just doing a Eevee render. And yeah, what do you guys think? Very, very basic stuff, just a little tower. This can obviously be used for like a low poly game, or yeah, just maybe like a little low poly animation. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to export this model and I'm going to upload it to my Gumroad website, and I will obviously share that link, or it is shared if you go to my Twitch channel to the About section. You will find all the links there to Discord and to Gumroad and all of those type of things. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions so far, or any other questions related to Blender or anything 3D. And also what I want to do in the Discord server, I will, it's a pleasure, Martin's window, it's a pleasure. What I want to do in the Discord server, I want to create like, or if you guys have any ideas of what I should model next, there's a little section where we can maybe just throw out some ideas, and then yeah, if we can have some like multiple ideas for things, we can try and build them, and then obviously share the models and you download them. So I think that's it. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. It was good. It was a good session. About 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 22 minutes. And yeah, we had some nice viewers today. It was actually, I think, my best viewing numbers so far. So thank you for watching. And yeah, I hope you guys follow along next time. And if you enjoy these types of content, yeah, you can obviously follow me to be notified when I go live next. I don't have a set schedule right now because I'm kind of just starting out. I'm trying to figure out what times are the best. Awesome. Thank you for watching, Siniska. Yeah, hope to see you soon again. And goodbye, Martin's window. Let me just do a little bye thingy for you guys. And thanks so much for watching. And there's some fireworks, and we have a little dance, and maybe we do a little what else can we do? There's the thanks. So we have our little things, and yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I will see you next time. Stay cool, stay in school, and have a nice Monday. Cheers, goodbye.